All right, hello and good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, which I'll be running through just a quick refresher on our Leap and Perfect Portal integration. Today's webinar will be very casual and it'll be a bit like a training session, which I'm sure most of you on here have done with me in the past. I will be doing a Q&A at the end, so if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the questions tab just in the Zoom meeting. I'm sure most of you know me, but for those who don't, I'm David Powers and I'm the Senior Account Manager here at Perfect Portal. A bit about me, I've been at Perfect Portal for nearly 4 years now, so you're in very capable hands for today's webinar. I'm just going to go over a quick agenda for the webinar, introduction to the session, which we've just done, and then I'm going to go in a depth demo of the integration. So we're going to see the integration at quote level. Once the matter is in Leap, what's not picked up by our integration once the matter is in Leap. And then finally, the Perfect Portal plugin and app, which is obviously the greatest benefit of having this integration, having that tailor-made branding communications all within your Leap account. So you're not going between two systems. Then lastly, we'll go through a Q&A. So make sure if you come across any questions throughout the webinar, you pop them in the questions tab and I'll try and get to them all at the end. But in saying that, I'm just gonna go through the demo now. So I'm gonna jump into my Perfect Portal account, which you should see just here on your screen at the moment. Now, what you see on your screen is one of our new dashboards that we have released in the system. Most of you should have this on your account. If you don't, please feel free to reach out and we can activate it. But basically, you have different dashboards for different role types, okay? So what you see at the moment is your new business admin dashboard. I'm not going to go in depth with this today. I will be doing a webinar probably mid to late January to go through actually setting up your Perfect Portal for 2022 and getting the most out of the system. And I want to go in depth with these reports during that webinar. But what I'm going to do first is I need to link my Leap account. Now, say, for example, I've become unlinked for some reason. It doesn't happen often. It might happen if one of us does an update, it might cause us unlink, but it's very rare. But if it does, what will happen is that a pop-up will appear on your screen, prompting you to go ahead and link your Leap account. I've X'd out of that just to show you the dashboards, but to link your Leap account to get to that setting functionality, really easy to, it's nice and simple. Just go to the top right-hand side of the screen. You either have a picture of yourself or you have your initials. At the moment, I am Bruce Willis, so there I am. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my account just here. And then this will take me into my account settings within Perfect Portal, which I can then link my Leap account, which you can see just here. And then you'll have the big button that says link Leap account. You can select that, and then you'll just be prompted to add in your Leap login credentials. So type in your username or email address, get your password, pop that in there, keep me signed in, hit sign in, and then that will pretty much just link the two together. So it's pretty much as simple as that. You can see there a big green tick saying that you are linked and to what Leap account as well, okay? So actually, let's start by generating a new lead and file within Perfect Portal. Really easy to do. I'm just going to go the plus sign just up here, and then I got new quote or I got new inquiry. Okay, so new inquiry, which you see here, are all your different areas of law that are not conveyancing. Okay, so we have every single matter type that's in Leap, we have in Perfect Portal. So a lot of our clients have this set up because once again, these can feed onto your websites via intake forms, and then you have all the same functionality as the quoting. So you have your automation, you have your CRM elements with notes and activities, and then once again, you have your branded email and branded information documents, okay? And then obviously key stages in the app. Now, if you don't have that set up in your account, please reach out to us. It's really easy to set up, and we can get that all going for you. And it's all part of your subscription, so there's no additional cost to pop on the matter types. So yeah, reach out if you want to take a deeper look into the inquiry side of the system. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus solely on conveyancing today. So I'm going to go to new quote, and once again, just select the relevant matter type. So depending what matter type you select at this stage, it will push you the correct matter type within Leap. So I'm going to do a house land purchase today, and I'm going to start typing the client's information. So this could be a brand new client. I've never used them before. They're not in Perfect Portal. They're not in Leap. So I'm just going to start typing out their name and their contact information, and then pop in their contact. Then from there, if I push that over into Leap, it's been accepted, that will create a new client card for me, okay? There's no double data entry with that. It's not like you need to create a separate card for that client in Leap and sort of connect the two together. No need to worry, it will just create a new card for you. Now, if I add a secondary client and I continue to add in their contact information, you can see here I got spouse or partner or primary contact. If I have that ticked, that will create a joint card for me within Leap when I push it over, okay? If I leave it unticked, that will create two separate client cards. So one for Stephen and one for, say, Jasmine for your second contact, okay? So ticked, joint, unticked, two separate, okay? But in saying that, I just want to show you how it works with current cards that you have in your Leap account. So once again, I'm just going to go new quote. Let's do house land again. And I'm going to start typing out the client's information. So I'm going to start typing out Georgia. And what's happening in the background is that Leap is doing a conflict check with Perfect Portal to see what cards you have with the name Georgia in your Leap account, and that's pulling through. So you can see quite clearly you got Leap, which is Georgia Green, and then the one below that is your Perfect Portal card. So just select the relevant card. I'm going to keep it with Leap. And then you can see from here is pull through her card. Now, say for example, I'm doing this contact, I know Georgia, and I realize, oh, she's updated her phone number. Perfectly fine. Pretty much this is Perfect Portal prompting you to go back in Leap and change that card information, contact information. So I'm going to go ahead and change the phone number because that's been updated. So I'm going to go into my Leap account, go into my cards, find Georgia, which is just here. Bring that over so you guys can see. And then from there, you can just amend what you need to. So I'm going to type in her new number. Yep, hit save and close. And then I'm going to jump back into my Leap, back into my Perfect Portal, hit resync, and that's going to pull through that new amended number that I popped in. Okay, nice and easy. From there, I can then add the referrer. So you've got your whole host of different referrers in here. Obviously, the benefit of adding the referrers at this stage of the quotation is that it's going to feed into all your different reports into the system. So like the dashboards that I showed you at the start. And it also allows a referrer to log into your app, your branded portal to see all the different matters and where everything's up to. So I'm going to keep it in William Porter. Now, say for example, I already have William Porter set up in my Leap account as a separate card. The way that the integration, the conflict checker works is that it feeds off email addresses. So say for example, for a referrer card in my Leap, I have a davidreferrer.perfectportal@gmail.com email address already registered under William Porter. That's fine. It will just connect the two together. So there won't cause any duplication with referrer cards when you push it over. So no need to worry about that. I'm just going to hit next and then pop in the property information. So you all should be familiar with this. And then you got your government fees and stamp duty, and then hit generate quote. Just on the side note as well, I am integrated with InfoTrack. So it's actually looking up that address within my InfoTrack account, underneath that council, and pulling through the searches that I've selected in my account to appear on the quote. Once again, it just makes it nice and transparent for the client. They see all the different searches that pull through from InfoTrack. And of course, if you want this activated, feel free to reach out. So pretty much the outstanding notice is just here, all the way down to your 603, that's pulling from InfoTrack there, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly run through sending the quote out from the system because we do have a few new clients on this webinar today. So just a bit of a refresher for those guys. Really easy to do. You've got actions here just on the right-hand side of the screen, and then you've got email quote, okay? So I'm going to hit email quote just here. This will bring up your pre-populated email template. Feel free to customize it in any way, but it's just designed. You can just hit email quote and send it straight out to the client. You've got these BB codes here, so that will personalize that a little bit further and pull through that relevant information. So just don't touch those things in brackets. I'm going to hit send email. That will take a couple of seconds just to go through over to my email. Perfect. And what I've done as well is that I've set up an automatic text message to be sent to the client, which you can see on my phone here, just on the right-hand side. And it's just prompting the client to go in there, check your emails, and make the whole transaction and instruction process a bit more faster and a bit more streamlined. Okay, so you know everyone's on their phones anyway. I'm sure people are constantly always texting on social media, so when that pops up, it's just a little prompt for them. So I'm going to go into my emails. As you can see here, I got my beautiful branded email just here. So you got let's get things moving. You've got a big green button, you can't miss it. Please click into instruct. And I also have attached a little few elements of the branded app as well. Okay, so attached to this email, I've also got the quote itself. So you got your beautiful branded cover sheet. It's pretty much just selling your brand to the client and giving that wow factor, and also that professionalism of them having this branded quote so fast within 30 seconds of calling them. Even when you're on the phone, I have clients who, speak to the clients on the phone saying, hey, we just sent you a quote, take a look at it, done. And it has all their information in now. So you can see here on my cost breakdown, you've got information about the purchase, the property address, list of fees, nice and professional. You've got your disclaimer page as well, and you've got your back sheet just to tie it in as a nice little package for the client. I've also attached a buying and selling guide. So that's just an example of an ad hoc document, internal document that you may have created yourself, which you can add to different emails within the system. And then I've added in a little information brochure about the app. So the client knows from the offset, hey, this is how we're going to communicate to you, keep you updated, how you can verify your identity, and chat to us as well. So it's just saying to the client, hey, we have an app, use it. This is how we're going to talk to you. Okay. Before I hit instruct, just here on the quote, I'm just going to jump back into Perfect Portal and I've set some further automation within the system. Okay, so that means if a client doesn't hit that big green button that says please click it to instruct, an automated text message will go out in, it looks like in 4 hours, one in 8 hours, and then I've got a follow-up chase email to go out in 24 hours and 3 days time. Obviously that can be all tailor-made to whatever duration you want, as how many automations as you would like. But you can see here, you got your reschedule and cancel as well. So if I did want to reschedule it, you might want to think, oh, they might have told you they're going on holidays or it's Christmas coming up and you just want to maybe remind them in the new year. You have that option now. I've also added a request to call back in that email as well, just in case the client's still a bit unsure and they want to talk to you about it on the phone. Okay, but like I said, if the client hits that click to instruct button or I accept or decline the quote from my end, that will cancel the automation automatically for me. So it's just designed, you send out the quote from the system and Perfect Portal is working in the background to chase up that lead. Okay, in saying that, let's jump back into my emails. I'm just going to hit click it to instruct. I'm Georgia. I'm happy with this quote. I want to proceed. This will then take the client to a page, which they'll just confirm their contact and property information. So I'll just hit next steps here. You can see here, you've got your buyer's information, purchase information, any additional information as well. Just hit confirm details, or the client will hit that rather. And then from there, the client will be prompted to actually activate their online portal and app. Now, since I've already set up a portal with my email address, it's prompted me as a recurring client to log in to view my account and see my matter within the app. But if it was a brand new client that never used you before, what will happen is they will prompt the client to actually set their password. It'll be a 1, 2, 3 step. So set password, log in, and then they're ready to download the app from the App Store. So it's as simple as that. I'll show you the online portal and app a bit later on once we're in Leap. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly refresh this page. And you can see here just on the right-hand side of the screen, it's actually canceled all that automation for me. Okay, before I push over into Leap, I'm just going to lodge a few notes and activities because everything I'm doing with Perfect Portal at this stage is going to push over to Leap within my correspondence. So if I do a new activity, I might have spoken to the client on the phone and we spoke about, any sort of pricing or whatever it is, you have that in there. And then I can add a note as well. So it might have been some notes about the property or the John Smith from Ray White said XXX about the property. So you just have these notes all in here for you, just in case you refer back to it, and you can just add it as an internal note, which you can see there. Yeah, so pretty much if I go into the log just here, once again, all of this is going to be pushed over into my Leap account. You can always refer back to it whenever you need to, which you can just see here. So pretty much everything I've done. You can also pick up on read receipts, text messages, all of that stuff as well. So very useful, this log area. Now, before I push over to Leap as well, I also enabled Leap mapping. Okay, so this is going to be enabling my fees to push over to times and fees and cost recoveries within my Leap account. So that means my additional fees, so my verification of identity and my professional fee, that will push over into my time and fees. And then everything in my disbursements and my portal, outstanding notices from InfoTrack, all that will push through into my cost recoveries within my Leap account. Now, if you don't have Leap mapping set up, please feel free to reach out. Really easy to set up, which is a simple toggle. So reach out and we can get that all pushing over to the right place in Leap. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to accept the quote. Now, say, for example, you don't need to quote them. You don't need to go through this whole quoting functionality of them, getting the branded quote, getting the instant text message, all of that. You might have just spoken on the phone saying, hey, look, it's $1,900, take it or leave it. Or there might just be a recurring client saying, hey, look, you don't need to quote us, we trust you. That's perfectly fine. Make sure you always start in Perfect Portal, because if you don't start in Perfect Portal, you won't have those key stages and the communication and the app. It just won't work. So make sure you always start your matters in Perfect Portal to have access to your key stages, okay? So accept quote, and like in saying that as well, the client's not gonna know anything about you not sending them a quote or anything about Perfect Portal. Just think of it as you're opening the file in Perfect Portal instead of Leap, okay? Just think about it that way. So now I'm just going to confirm all the matter details before I push over to Leap. We want to make sure all the data is nice and clean. So just confirm all this contact information, clients and other contacts. When I hit next here, a little pop-up will appear. This is for InfoTrack ID, the web UI integration through your branded app. So it's just a Perfect Portal prompting you to make sure all that contact information is correct. Obviously, it's not, go back and change it. If it's fine, yes, and continue. And then we've got integration assignment. Okay, so this is another element of that Leap integration. Obviously, straightforward. If you want to toggle that, you want to send to Leap. Obviously, you want to send it to Leap, so just leave it toggled on. You got your recurring matter. So if you have your different recurring matter folders set up in your Leap account, this is a great way just to push it over to that folder, and it'll pull through all your relevant documents and folders that you've set up in that actual folder template. Okay, so I'm going to push over to purchase, and then you got your Leap matter number. So there's a couple of ways which you can actually customize your Leap matter number. The first way is actually typing in manually a number. If you're a bit old school and you have the books, I'm not too sure if I've ever come across a client who still does that, but say, for example, you have your own internal numbering system, you can add in your numbers in there. If you have auto numbering turned on within your Leap account, that will push, when we push over this to Leap, it will take the next available Leap number. Or if I just leave it blank completely, it will actually create the Leap, the Perfect Portal number that's been created. So it'll pull through the 219247 number that PB is created. And then from there, you can assign to whoever is the phone. Now, just make sure they're all linked to Leap, like I showed you at the start. If I assign it to Rob, for example, what will happen is that Rob will get an email sent to him that he has a new matter assigned to him, okay? But I just want to keep it under me, obviously. Hit next, add any additional notes. And then once I hit accept here, it will be one last conflict check, okay? So like I said, one quote generation with the referrers is actually picking up on emails, okay? So that's how the conflict checker works. Just choose a relevant contact card. So I want to keep it with Georgia. I don't want David Power or Mr. James Power. I want Georgia Green. Hit next, tick that, continue, and then that will take a couple of seconds just to push over to Leap. Won't take too long. Fabulous. Now that's been pushed over to Leap. So what I'm going to do now, since it's pushed over, I can just exit Perfect Portal altogether and then head into my matter within Leap. So I'll just exit out of this one real quick. And I'll grab the matter number. So the 21294, let me just copy that. Get into my Leap account, don't want cards. Perfect, so it's pushed over to Leap. It's pretty fast. It shouldn't take any longer than 5 minutes, but once again, it all depends on your internet speed. So I'm just going to open up that here. It's downloading the matter. And as you can see here, this is everything that I've done within Perfect Portal. So the quote generation, sending out the quote, logging your activities, the instruction, the actual quote itself. So that's all going to be within your correspondence, okay? And then you got your client and agent. So these are just examples of my recurring matter for my purchase. Obviously, you probably have a lot more documents and folders, but this is just an example, so you can see that there. You can see it here on the left-hand side of my Leap account as well, my details. Everything's been pushed over correctly. So Georgia, information about the matter, property address, all of that stuff is pushed through William Porter as well. Now, I'm just going to show you a couple of other integration things within Leap before we push it over. Obviously, I already talked about Leap mapping, your time and fees and cost recoveries. The next one is your PSD. So that's your proposed settlement date in your calendar and task. So if I add this in here, I can go to my settlement date. Let's do it next year. Hit apply, and what's going to happen is that that's going to feed back into Perfect Portal. It's also going to feed into the client app and Referrers app. So I'll show you that a little later on the client app, but within the Referrers app, they'll actually have their own design dashboard, and we'll have a list of different settlements upcoming. Okay, so the referrer will know straight away, okay, this settlement for George's up next year, and then a new one for James for February. So it just keeps them in the loop about what's happening. You can also feed these into your key stages as well as BB codes, which I'll show you a bit later on with the key stages. I'm going to go into details on correspondence. I'm just going to hit save. And then with this as well, with the way that the integration works is that if I amend any of the contact information or referrers information, that will feed back into Perfect Portal within 5 minutes. Okay, so say for example, I add a secondary purchaser, or I've changed the referrer around, that will feed back into Perfect Portal. But if you want the system to force sync and talk to each other straight away, you've been impatient like I am, really easy. Think of this key stages button as your master sync button. Okay, so you hit key stages and that will force the sync between the two systems between Leap and Perfect Portal. They will talk to each other. Okay, and obviously once again you've got your key stages. That's your Perfect Portal plugin. Now before I go into my key stages, I'm actually going to go through a couple of things that's not picked up by the Leap integration. Okay, the reason why behind this is mainly because it's hard coded to get a bit techie. So that will include if I change the purchase price. So I got 500,000, make sure you change that into Perfect Portal, because obviously that will feed into the client app, and the client sees the wrong price. They might be a bit iffy about that. Also the address. So if you change the property address, once again, got to change that into Perfect Portal, and also the matter type. So say for example, you realize, oh no, it's a vacant land. You can't change the matter type. All these things are hard coded within the system. So if you do change that, make sure you go back to Perfect Portal and change it. In saying that as well with your key stages. So you can see here that I got all my key stages. Say for example, you're a new client, you just started with us and we've added obviously all your defaults in the system. So your default key stages, depending what state that you're in. Say in January, come back to us saying, hey, look, I've read through the key stages over the break. Here are my amendments, fantastic. Let's get that changed around. I'll change that, or your account manager will change that in the back end of the system. But what will happen is that won't feed into any current matters that you have in Leap. Okay, so you say you've opened a file in December, you change the key stages in January, and then you go back to that matter in December and try and send the updates, but there will be the old updates. There won't be your new ones you've added. It will only be the new updates for the new files that you open from that change. Okay, so just keep that in mind, because I do have a few clients to do that. Just make sure it's just because it's hard coded at the end of the day. Okay, and it's really easy to make these amendments back into Perfect Portal. So if I head back into PP just here, I've got my regenerate button just up here, and that's where I can change my purchase price or my property information, which you can see here. So I can just change that around and that around. Okay, once again, that will feed directly back into the client app. If you have any more questions about what's not picked up by integration, once again, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to do a one-on-one meeting and training session with you. But let's actually go through the key stages. Now, I'm sure most of you are familiar with these updates and the key stages. Obviously, this plays a very big part in the integration between the two systems. It's the greatest benefits, having that tailor-made communication to all the parties involved in the matter. Okay, so you've got your key stages, and like I said, there's personalized communication between each one of these updates. So for the client, you'll have something a bit more, light and fluffy and friendly, and then for the referrer, you might have something a bit more professional. It's making it a bit more different and personable for that party in the transaction. Really easy to do, to send the update. You've got the little email notification just up here. You hit send update, and what will happen is I've set that up so the client will get a push notification, which you can see on your screen at the moment, and they'll also get a text message, which you can see there as well. Okay, so the systems are talking back and forth to each other, and once again, the client will still get their email sent to them as well. So if I just quickly refresh this page, they'll still get the branded emails being sent to them, maybe just in a couple of seconds. There we go. So you're 2 steps away. That's the activation link. So that's linked to your very first key stage. So the client can just hit activate account, set their password, and then they're in. It's as simple as that. And they'll still keep getting those branded email updates as well. The good thing about this as well is that you got login to view matter. So the client's always going to be prompted to go online, view the matter, and you got your hyperlinks to your different app stores. A really cool feature with that as well is that once the client has activated their account, it will revert to login to view matter. If they haven't activated their online portal yet, that button will say activate your account until it's done. Okay. So once again, always prompting the client to go ahead and check the app. In saying that, let's actually go into the app. So I'm going to send identity verified. And I'm also going to show you just InfoTrack ID just after this, but let's go into the app first off. So send update. There we go, got me update, hit take me there. I got my text message as well. And then this will take the client to the app. So I'm sure most of you have seen these, but basically what happens is that every single time you send one of those updates, the truck will move closer and closer to the house. Once it reaches the house, there's fireworks, a big party going on, all of that stuff. So it's just generating that word of mouth between their friends and family, and it's just building that ultimate client journey from start to finish and keeping the branding in line. So as soon as I log in, latest update, that's the very last key stage that you've sent. So identity verified. They can then hit view all updates, and then we'll just show them a list of updates that's been completed. So first 2, big green tick, and then what's left to be completed as well in the transaction. So it just keeps them in the loop. And once again, it's the biggest asset that they're buying or selling in their life. And anyone would want to be updated with that. And it just saves you the time at the end of the day. You're not spending 20 minutes on the phone talking to the client and then, making small talk. And then you got to talk to the referrer for another 20 minutes and make an extra small talk. It's just sending one button, if everyone's updated, and you can just continue with your work. Okay, so you got that there. If I go into my details section just here, that's just going to give me an overview of my file. So once again, hello, I'm Bruce Willis today. You got my matter details, so information about the property, client details for post-settlement date. So once again, that's fed through from my Leap account when I've added in the 19th of Jan 2022. Cost breakdown, and then they can also view the quote if they need to. Okay. Now, from there, I'm actually going to go through InfoTrack ID. So once again, InfoTrack, Perfect Portal, and Leap, we all talk back and forth to each other, which is fantastic, and also makes your life easier at the end of the day. So VOI, okay, exactly the same process as you currently do it at the moment within your InfoTrack account. So I'm going to hit VOI. That's going to take me into InfoTrack's platform. I won't go into too much in depth with this today. We do have videos and information documents about web VOI. So if you do want more information about the web VOI InfoTrack ID, please feel free to reach out and I can send over those documents and videos to you. But just to show you how it works with the integration with everything. So start VOI. Once again, just go through all this contact information. I want to do remote, so I want to do it via the app, pop in your number. I won't add the CAF for today, and then just hit submit. Okay, what will happen from there is that the client will be sent a push notification on their phone. So I'll just let that go through. Talking too soon. There we go. We got that there. Hit take me there, and what will happen is that a to-do list will appear on their screen, which is submit documents. Okay. So there's 2 ways which they can get to their to-do list. The first way is hitting the little burger menu on the top left-hand side of the screen and then hitting to do, and that will take them there. But if they go to their home screen as well, which just shows them the latest update and what's been done, that will actually show them as well their to-do list. So let's go in now and go back to home. There we go, you got my to-do, which is just there. Okay, so there's many different ways which the client can get there. What I'm going to do is that the client will also get sent a branded email sent to them. Okay, so it's not coming from InfoTrack, it's actually coming from your brand, which is adding that extra step of security and comfort for the client. Especially if you have, some random company called InfoTrack asking you to verify your identity, the client might freak out and delay the process even more. We do find that the InfoTrack ID that are being done through our system and through your brand app, it's done a lot more faster, because at the end of the day, they trust you, you're their solicitor. They don't even know who InfoTrack is. And that's the beauty about your branded app. There's no reference at all about Perfect Portal. The client won't even know what Perfect Portal is. And that's what we want. We want it to come from you and your brand, okay? Really easy for the client to do. They can hit view to my to-do list, and obviously that will take them onto the online portal to do that, or they can just hit submit documents on their phone, and then that will take the client into the InfoTrack ID, and they just go along as they usually do. Like I said, I'm not going to go into depth with that today. If you want a video, please feel free to reach out. I can send that over to you, okay? But what will happen for the people on here today who do utilize this function, once they hit submit documents, there'll be a little extra prompt for them to actually go back to their to-do list. And what will happen, it will take them back directly into the app, back into this screen, and then that submit documents will turn from incomplete into complete. Okay, so once again, the client knows that's complete. Once again, if you do need to re-request submission or anything like that, it works the same way: push notification, brand new email, and then it'll revert from completed to incomplete. Okay. In saying that, let's go back into Leap, and I'm going to show you the chat and document share functionality. Okay. So I'm going to go into my key stages. And within my Perfect Portal plugin, I will have a chat functionality. So you've got chat just up here. Now, the way that the chat works is that you need to initiate the conversation first with the client. If you don't start that conversation, they're not going to know anything about the chat whatsoever. Okay, we've done that because you might have, the odd client here, you might think, oh, it's just not for them. It might, might be talking to us all the time or whatever it is. So you just initiate the conversation first for them to have it. I'm going to start typing in a message to Georgia. So, hello, Georgia, please see attached letter. From there, you got your little paperclip. So you got two options. You got select from computer, or you got select from Leap. Obviously, you select from computer, that's going to be any ad hoc documents that you have saved on your desktop. If you select from Leap, that's going to pull through any documents that you have saved in your correspondence. Okay, so it can be PDF, it could be an Excel if you really want to do that. It could be a Word, it could be a photo image, whatever it is. Anything that you have saved in your correspondence, you can actually say that, send that to the client. So let me jump back in here. I'm going to attach the quote because that's all I have at the moment in here. Send that out. Hit the little paper airplane, that was sent out. Georgia will get a push notification, hit take me there, and now that note's on the bottom will revert to a chat, which you can see here. Okay, so the client can choose to obviously open up that document, which is just the quote like I showed you before, and they also have the option to reply back. So they could type in, thanks, Bruce. I'll get back to you. Send that out, and then that will feed directly back into your plugin, which you can see here. Obviously, the greatest benefits of this is having your documents tab just here for the client. So all the documents that you're sending out to the client is always going to be saved and downloadable directly into the document section, which you can just see here as well. The greatest benefit of that is that the documents are stored in one place. They're not, maybe 3 months down the line, once the settlement has been done, they're not calling you saying, hey, I've misplaced this document, would you forward that over to me? You can just say, hey, it's all within the app. Get into the app, go into your documents, and all your reported documents are in there. Especially having a place where all their documents are stored, they're going to keep the app on their phone. An app on your phone is the app for life. I don't remember the last time I've even deleted a game or whatever it is from my phone. So yeah, it's perfect just to have this on their phone, and they can always refer back to it when they need to. The good thing about this as well is that obviously there's an online portal. So if I jump back into my emails, and I'm actually going to go into my Matter on my online portal, which is basically exactly the same, but it's blown up onto a computer screen. So there's no different journey for the end client. It's still going to take them into the portal. With the messages as well, I forgot to mention is that if the client doesn't reply back within 5 minutes, or if you don't reply back within 5 minutes, an email will be sent to the client, just prompting them to go ahead, and they got a new message waiting for them in now. Okay, and that'll only happen once. So I'll just log in real quickly. Hopefully that's my password. Yes, it is. Fantastic. All right. And then you can see here, obviously the truck's probably moving a lot more faster because a bit more screen time. But if they go to their chat just here, once again, they can view the chat, and it's one of those documents they actually need to print out or read or whatever on the screen. It might be better to do it through a desktop. So they can go to their documents just here. Once again, it looks exactly the same. Just download it, and then that will download onto their computer as well. This is Microsoft Edge, so I think it downloaded somewhere else. I'm so used to Google Chrome, it downloaded over there. There we go. So it's just there, which you can see here. Okay. So let's jump back into the chat. Obviously, once the chat is done, you can then export it into the file. So just hit export chat, boom, done. And then that's going to be saved within your correspondence just in here as well. Now, if the client replies back and attaches a further document, what will happen is that a further folder will be created within your Leap account, which will be called Perfect Portal Documents. And that's going to be all the documents that the client has sent over to you. So just keep that in mind, okay? Not much to show left of the integration. Obviously, you just do what you normally do within Leap, work on the file, and then when you can use a key stage to update the related parties. I'm just going to go through and send settlement has been completed, because obviously that's the fireworks, the big wow factor of the app, I think personally. Let's go to settlement has been completed. Get that push notification on my phone, which you can see here. And then we have our fireworks. There we go. So the truck's finally made to the house. It's zooming along. Woohoo. The client's getting excited. They're showing their friends, saying, oh my God, it's finally got there, and all that stuff. So it just, once again, yeah, it just creates a fun user experience. Once they reach the house, they can obviously refer a friend as well. If you were on the webinar the other week, we are doing a bit of a facelift to the refer a friend, which will also allow you to refer all areas of law, not just purchase. It's just not conveyancing and property. From there as well, you can then send your feedback form. So I'll send that over to the client. And then a review will pop up on the screen. So hit take me there. And then they can just give you a rating out of 5 stars. Obviously, all these questions can be customizable to whatever you want them to be. So just pop all that information in there, hit submit, and then you'll get notified by email that that's been completed. Okay. So yes, I mean, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to show through with the integration today. So let's just quickly jump back into the slideshow, and we can see if we have any questions. So just give me 2 seconds. All right, so let's see, questions. Okay. How much is it to upgrade to the branded app? All right, so for the branded app, it's $9 plus GST per matter conversion. So as soon as you accept the quote, push over to Leap, that would be the $9 charge there. So yeah, what a lot of clients do, they usually just add it to their legal fee or add a technology charge to cover the cost, or they just absorb it. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, is $9. It's just a Macca's meal, so it's not that much money with all the value that you get with having that premium package, a premium app for your clients, referrers, portal, and you get all the different graphics as well. So if you did want a demo of that branded app a little bit further, or the referrers app rather, then yeah, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to do that as well. What else? What happens if the matter has been cancelled? Yes, sorry, I forgot to mention that as well. So unfortunately, that's not picked up by the integration as well. So you will need to cancel it within your Leap account, and then head back to Perfect Portal and actually cancel the matter as well. Once again, that will feed into all your different reports in the system, so you can see your decline and cancel rate for your matters. I don't think we have any more questions, but if anything else comes to mind, please feel free to contact me, give us a call. You can see my email address is there. But yes, thank you for joining for today's webinar. And I know how busy it is this time of year. So thank you for all the people who joined us today. Just on a side note, our holiday hours here at Perfect Portal, we closed down from the 22nd and then we reopened on the 4th of Jan. From the 4th of Jan to the 17th of January, that's just going to be help desk inquiries. So that won't include any setup, training, anything like that. If you want any setup and training from the 17th onwards, that was when we could start scheduling that in. So feel free, if you want to book in a meeting before the end of the year, reach out. If you want to do something towards the end of January, once again, reach out to me. We can book something in the diary. But in saying that, I do want to do a webinar middle to end of January, just to go through setting up your Perfect Portal so you can get the best out of it in 2022, and also go through those new dashboards. But in saying that, thank you all once again for watching. Have a safe and happy holidays. I'm sure we all deserve it and need it right now. But yes, I look forward to working with you all in the new year. Take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.